visit with us until I was like 18 or something like that. That's the only thing I really remember from there. It was an apartment in Floral Park. And then came to Massapequa. You know, my grandma and aunt were already in that house. I'm not sure if my uncle was there at the time. My uncle popped in and out of there once or twice. I was with my mom, my dad, and myself came, and then, no, it's not. I remember like first grade. I remember it specifically from first grade. I really like this girl. I can't remember her name. Nancy something, I believe. And, I remember like we hugged in lunch, and it was like a big deal. And like after that, it was like nothing. I remember lending someone my, I think, no, that was after first grade. What it had to have been. I remember lending someone a Transformer. It might have been first or second. It was one of the guys from the movie. I can't remember Transformers the movie. I can't remember his name. Never got that back. It actually happened too with Maniac Mansion for the Nintendo. I lent that to someone and never got it back either. So if you were gonna lend stuff to people, you like had to lend them to the people you actually really hung out with a lot, and you're like real friends, not like people from school. The Maniac Mansion one, I want to say, was in like 5th grade. 5th or 6th, because I think that game came out in maybe 89 or 90. 89, 90, I was in 5th. 90, 91 would have been 6th. Like I said before, I liked elementary school a lot. It was always fun. I think I can remember all of my teachers. Let's see if I can. It was Miss Musso first, Miss Lucena second, Miss Williams third, Miss Zabrowski fourth, Mrs. Doran sixth, and Miss Blumenthal. Miss fifth Doran, sixth was Miss Blumenthal, Mrs. Blumenthal. I don't know. That's another thing I actually remember from 5th grade, which is funny. This kid wasn't doing anything bad, but he was doing something, and the teacher went to say, "Put your shirt away," and she said, "Put your shit away." And everybody was laughing their ass off. And she's like, "I went home on lunch and like had a talk with my mom about like saying this curse." Everybody's like, "What?" No one really cared. They thought it was funny. She was probably my favorite of all the elementary school teachers. I want to say Miss Tikos was the music teacher. I remember one time, a lot of these are going to be school related, but it snowed bad one day while school was on, so they let out early, and they were busing people home. But you only could take a bus if you like actually took a bus. And I walked to elementary school. Now I would have been driven there probably like 1st and 2nd grade, but like, I don't know if it is the same anymore, but back then we were walking to school in like 2nd, 3rd grade, sometimes 4th grade. I remember I had to walk home, and I walked down the path, and I saw, I think it was my aunt and grandma were like on the other end of the path. They had known school was done, and they were like shoveling a path for me. It's always a fond memory. That was good. I was into video games a lot back then. I got my NES, I believe I was in 2nd grade when I got it. I want to say it was after religion, because I did religion up until like 7th grade. But I remember I got Super Mario Bros. And Jaws were the 2 first games I got with it. I'm pretty sure it was 87. Obviously Mario Bros. Is out. I don't know when Jaws came out. Let me actually find out real quick. I had a ton. I was a bit of a pain in the ass because I was an only child. Like, I have half siblings. My dad has other kids, but that are older than me. But because my dad was like 16 years older than my mom. But I had I was an only child. My mom and I was a pain in the ass. For like a stretch between like maybe like 4th and like 8th grade, I was like, I'm not gonna count the times I was like struggling, having trouble with school, actually having like psychological problems. You know, I'm talking like just being a dick for being a sake of being a dick and being a brat. Yeah, it came out in '87, so it was probably not shortly after that I got it. It says November 1st. I don't know how accurate those are, but I might have gotten it for Christmas, or I might have gotten it maybe a month later. You know, they grabbed me Jaws because they knew what it was, you know. And Jaws was an alright game. It kind of gets shit on, but I don't know, it was okay. But then when I was in 4th grade, my parents got divorced. I remember that night. I think I might have talked about this before in a video. But I remember I was playing Stratego with my mom. My dad came home drunk. My dad was like a drunk, bad drunk. And he came home like spouting all types of weird shit. He's my son too, and all this crap. And then he like broke a window. He like flipped the board game we were playing, the Stratego. My mom was trying to calm down by the stairs, and he like kind of like, I don't want to say he threw her, but like they were kind of like, he was kind of like grabbing her, and she went down the stairs. My grandma was flipping out. She eventually calmed him down, but I remember he broke a lamp too. He was done after that. They were divorced, and the funny thing is, I wasn't one of those kids who I was probably upset about, because I remember that night I was like, oh my god, I was crying. I had my gourd, not on drugs, just upset. And then I was upset for a little bit. Like, I wasn't one of those people like in the movies and stuff, maybe in real life. They're like, I could get my parents back together. I couldn't give a shit. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take advantage of this. You know, I didn't care. Like, I got over it real fast, and that was it. Like, I understood even at that age. I was like, clearly this is not meant to be. I was always self-aware, I feel, even when I was really young. In 6th grade, I came up with these weird words. My friends came up with some too, but I came up with Shkumpdink, Basioga, and Chabaleo. And Shkumpdink, I remember everyone, I think it was in 6th grade, everybody in the school was saying it, in 6th grade was saying it was funny. I remember winning an alien in 1st grade in a raffle. I won this, it's called an alien bike. That was the brand, that was the name, Alien. It was a piece of crap. I remember we used to hang out at this place called Margie Post, and they had a pit with a bridge going across. We used to like throw it off there, and this thing would take like insane amounts of damage. Then I got a GT Vertigo, which I had for a while. Played a lot of sports back then. I played baseball for a while. I think I said that in the other one. I think it was up until 9th grade or 8th or 9th grade in Coast. I played basketball 1 year, I think, or maybe even half a year. I don't know. I tried football once, and I think I quit even before the season started. I would pick on and off. Like, 1 year I'd be really good at baseball, next year I wouldn't be, and then I'd be good, and then I wouldn't be. I remember this guy drafted me like 5 years in a row, because you'd actually have drafts back then. You know, they would take kids like 5 years in a row. I pick them. My team did win the title twice. I think I ended up throwing those trophies out. I might still have one of them. Once was when I was in 7th, and the other was when I was in 5th grade. I will say I was a really good outfielder. I remember I made the tournament 1 year, tournament team, where you'd play into the summer, and you'll play teams from other towns. Because like each town had its own like league. It was Coast and International, I think, were the two in Massapequa. I was in Coast, and then PAL was a summer league. But I remember this kid hit a pop fly that was going to foul territory, and I like ran and like caught it and like rolled twice. Like I was always throwing my body around in the outfield. It was fun, but then like I said, my panic and stuff started to come in even back then. Not panic when I was younger, but I always started to like not like it as much. I don't know how to really describe it. That's why, actually, no, it did happen around the same time, because it probably was 9th grade. Just when I started to have an issue with it. That's probably when the last year. I might not even have made it through all 9th grade. disturbing imagery back when you were like, you could get those when you were like freaking first and second grade. I remember having sleepovers and stuff like that back then. Playing Manhunt was classic. That was, a lot of good stuff like that. Then I got the Genesis. I want to say I got the Genesis before I was at elementary school, because I think Genesis came out in '89. I mean, I got it when I was in 6th grade. Super Nintendo I got when I was in 7th. I guess that kind of counts because you're not a teenager yet, right? You turn into one depending on when your birthday is. Depending on early or later in the year. We used to play all types of street sports too, out in the streets, you know. Neighbors yelling at this one old lady lived down the block, and she like called the cops and told them we were swinging from the wires, the electrical wires. My one friend was the ringleader, my other friend was the big dog. Like, it was weird. She was like the kind of person, like, if the ball goes on the lawn and you get it, she's like flipping out that you're on the lawn type stuff. I remember we were just, you know, that's what we used to do. We used to climb up telephone poles and go back and forth from the freaking power lines. Like, what the hell was she talking about? My one friend had an in-ground pool. We used to go in all the time. It was fun. We had a pool in my backyard, but there was like no shade. I mean, there was no sun. It was all shade. Like, it was so cold, that pool. I probably actually went in it 5 times to actually swim. A lot of times I would use the G.I. Joe hovercraft in there. I would tie it to the ladder of the pool so it wouldn't go out in the middle, and I'd have to go in to get it. I used to love G.I. Joe figures. I had a lot of cool toys. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Mask, Food Fighters, GoBots, which is the like B level of Transformers. They were still kind of cool, but they were not nearly as good as Transformers. He-Man. I had a ton of He-Man figures back then. Star Wars figures. I have pictures of me when I was like maybe 3 years old. Or, but when did Return of the Jedi was 83, right? Yeah, so I was probably actually 5 years old. Or 4. I had a picture of me opening the Ewok, like pulling the Ewok village out for Christmas, and I look at those pictures now, and I'm like, don't open it. It's worth money. It's gonna be worth money. I had a ton of those. Starting lineup figures I had a ton of. I love those things. Part of me always wants to collect those again because they were so cool. You know, compared to the McFarlane ones, they're cheesy, but man, they were just so cool, the little helmets, especially the football ones. But I got all sports. Hockey I didn't have many of, but it was probably football I had the most, baseball second most, basketball third, and NBA, hockey fourth. I think I've used the one, actually the Brett Hull one, I think I might have used in a video or two. That one I got, like, late. That was probably like 94 or something like that. Because I remember one Christmas I got a box of them, like it was just a box wrapped up. I opened it, there was like 20 of them in there. I remember in first grade, we had in elementary school, I actually have the tape of this still, which is crazy, VHS. We had like a play type thing in school, and me and 2 other people were, numbers was our thing, so I had this giant box thing that was a calendar, and we like did a song and stuff. Completing the stuff you'd wear as a kid in the 80s. Because that would have been like 85. Or 86, one of the two. Wait. 85, 86 was first grade, so it was probably 80, it was probably at the end of the year in 86. The toys back in that decade were incredible. I didn't really start getting into music. I remember my first CDs I got, they were actually CDs too. I was in 5th grade. It actually might have been 6th grade Christmas, 5th or 6th. But the CDs were, I remember these CDs too. It was Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses, Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden, Dr. Feelgood. Did Dr. Feelgood come out in 90? Dr. Feelgood and Decade of Decadence, both Motley Crues. I'm not ashamed to say I had those. I do like some Motley Crue, but compared to like Maiden and Guns N' Roses, well, I think Guns N' Roses is a little overrated. But then I got into all the other stuff too. You know. I remember the McDonald's song. You had the record for the McDonald's song. I can't remember how it goes, but it's like Big Mac, BLT, quarter pounder with some cheese, and filet of fish. It was just pretty much all the items they had in this song. I remember going to Toys R Us all the time with my friends. We did that even later. But that was fun. I remember once me and my friend, they were throwing stuff out at Toys R Us, like drawers and stuff. My friend's like, oh, I can store some figures in these. And we started grabbing them, and the employee comes out, she's like, garbage, bad ass. Well, it's garbage, so it doesn't matter who's taking it, right? I never understood that. Someone throws something out for garbage, someone takes it, and they get mad. It's like, why are you throwing it out then? When I've thrown stuff out at the curb, the junk dealers will come. I remember once they took a lawnmower, I was like, okay, they're coming around. I'm going to start pulling more stuff out for them to take. It's like cleaning out the garage. I'm like, take it, man. I had Photon. When I was a kid, it was like, there was laser tag or whatever it was called, and there was Photon. Photon, you had the helmet, and the gun was like attached to it. It was like a laser tag as well. Captain Power is another thing I had. I think Sky Raiders is another toy. I still have the Captain Power tapes, actually. I brought them here. I remember watching the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, and Zelda was on Friday. Everybody had a crush on Zelda. Back then, you used to bring your figures to school and stuff, and people would be like, oh, check out my JoJo's. This is classic. Pin soccer. Didn't we play pin soccer in elementary school back then? I don't know if it's still a thing, or it was just something they made up. It was probably made up, obviously, but I don't know if it was something that, like, was played all over the place, but they would put, in gym, you'd have two sides on each side of the gym, and everybody would stand in front of a pin, and you'd be throwing balls, like, at each other. Now, I think if you got hit with one and didn't catch it, similar to dodgeball, you were out, and then that pin would be freed up. But you try to, like, loft it over people's heads so it hit the pins, and if it hit your pin, I think you'd get out, too. So you could either get knocked out, but if your pin got out before you got hit, that was a pretty fun game, actually. Pin soccer. And you play dodgeball as well, and all the other stuff. And you'd go outside, you know, when it was nice, and you'd do, I remember the route you took for your laps. It's funny too, because we went to elementary school. Toys R Us was like actually right behind the elementary school. We used to cut through it all the time to go to Toys R Us. Surface Merchandise was over there. Sears. We used to go into Sears too. We like in elementary school and well past that. Well, not well past it, but they had a little food court up there. We get mozzarella sticks in Sears. There's a McDonald's that's still over there. Circuit City was there for a while, but that was well after I was out of elementary school. It's most of that stuff's different now. I think my dentist used to be over there when I was in elementary school. But good times. Like I said, it was fun. My childhood years were fairly fun. It was pretty much 8th grade and beyond is when it got like mentally a problem for me. 7th grade was still fine. I cut my foot open in 7th grade, actually, I'll mention. Actually, I got stitches twice. I'll bring these stories up since they're both childhood. It's like second month of 7th grade. We had glass shower doors. And, I was going out to get soap because the soap was on the sink and there was none in the shower. And then the shower door collapsed onto the sink and shattered. And I was like, oh my god. So I kind of just started to, like, get out of the shower and stuff and grab my towel and whatever, and all of a sudden I looked down, my foot is just gushing blood. I'm like, somebody get in here. My aunt's like, you need stitches? Yeah, I need 25 stitches. There's like a mouth in one. I had like 15 of the stitches there, and then there was a smaller cut above that. My toes, they put some stitches in. I definitely had the Genesis thing because my mom, I remember the worst part was when they shot the Novocaine into the cut. My mom's like, I'll get you a Genesis game. I think I got Heroes of Might and Magic. We used to go to the mall a lot too. Not as much. Busy Bee Malls where we used to go, which was awesome. It was a flea market. It was so cool. It's a Kohl's now, but this place is awesome. I mentioned it in the other video too, but I was going there in elementary school as well. Like I said, back then we'd go up to McDonald's and stuff when we were in like 4th grade, and nobody get, you know. I guess kids still do that now, right? I don't know. I remember you had to worry about, like, there's the kidnappers in white vans was a big thing in the 80s at least. And I remember there was like rumors of something going around, so I think it was my garage. We like set up a little basin and we had like random weapons, like tools and stuff. I'm probably forgetting a lot, but I don't remember what it. This is probably after I was in elementary school. It was probably actually around 7th or 8th grade. One friend was over watching Saved by the Bell. My friend just started screaming, beep, 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 go beep. My mom's like, shut up. My mom was asleep and she worked nights. I thought that was funny. Beep, 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 beep. I said it was just fun. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people have a bad time in elementary school because kids are fucking assholes, but I enjoyed it. I wasn't addicted to anybody, and I just enjoyed elementary school in general. I believe I was in 1st grade in school. I'm pretty sure I was in school, and we left early, or we were all called. Something happened. We were all called down to the auditorium when the Challenger space shuttle exploded. I remember, like, I think they came in with a PA, and I think everybody went to because it was obviously such a big deal. I'm pretty sure I was in 1st grade when that happened. I need to look that up now too. Amazon just delivered something. But that was wild. I mean, back then I was probably in 1st or 2nd grade, so you didn't know really. You didn't understand a lot. Let me see. Yeah. I want to see what date this was though. January 28th, 86. So I would have been in 1st grade when that happened. I remember that because it definitely was a school. I'm pretty damn sure it was a school day. That was pretty wild. I said we used to hang out at Marjorie Post Park, Burns Park. I used to occasionally get egg sandwiches from the deli because on Long Island, I'm sure everywhere else in these delis, get bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches. Something I get the big white cup of iced tea, and I'd go over to Burns and like watch some of my friends playing in baseball games and stuff. Like if my team was out of the playoffs or something, I'd go over there, or my team wasn't playing. That was always fun. We used to go to Florida a lot. My family were kids because my one uncle and aunt lived in this place in Florida, and then near Lake Wales. And then my aunt, mom and grandma built a house down there. Now it's my aunt's. That's where she's gonna move. It's still there. It's when we stay and we go down there. But and I had some other family that lived in this community as well, and they left. But we used to go down there a lot, and my cousins and I used to hang out with my cousins more when I was younger. Not anymore, obviously, but that was fun. The first time I ever went to Florida, it was 1st grade again. It was probably the summer after I was done with 1st grade. I took a plane down, I got airsick. I puked after getting off the plane twice, and then I had Teddy Ruxpin with me. If anybody remembers Teddy Ruxpin, he was a bear, and you'd put tapes in the back of it, cassette tapes. I puked all over him too in the back of the car. It was cool down in Florida back then. There was a lot of wildlife down there because it's like like pretty much this place is like a animal refuge kind of because you're not allowed to hunt in there. And you'd see deers down there, boar, armadillos, which we saw last time. I actually saw, like I said, we saw the Florida panther in 2016, which was crazy to see that down there. It was nuts. My fiance's like, look, I was like, holy shit, there it is. It was like crossing a main road and it went to the brush and you didn't see it. That was wild. Because all the years I've been down there, never came close to seeing one. Gators are all in there, and there's a golf course in this place, and we occasionally would play on there. I remember us chasing a small gator, which was dumb. So, a bigger one was floating around that would have chased us. only time, or one of the 2 times I played Dungeons and Dragons was down in Florida with my cousins, my uncle's house. I remember playing Kefka in Final Fantasy III. That was after I was in 10th grade when this happened. This is the last time I went to Florida before going to 2016. Because I brought my Super Nintendo down there, Final Fantasy III, that was fun. But I had my Atari down there, 7800, and my Sega I swear my Sega Master System was down there. I don't know what happened to that thing. I don't remember ever selling it. I'll never know what happened to it. That thing's got value now. The Atari, my mom ended up sending it back with the games. It was funny, actually, when I was in elementary school, somebody robbed the house because the house didn't have a deadbolt. They took the VCR, because there wasn't much down there besides clothes and stuff and furniture. But they took the Atari and the VCR, but they stashed it on the side of the house and never came back. So, you know, somebody got it and put it back, or whatever, and then they got a deadbolt. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, my childhood years were fun. My parents got divorced. I didn't care after freaking 2 months. I lived with my grandma, my aunt, my mom. Like I said, my dad was there for a little bit. My uncle was there. He was in there for, like, he had to move. I think he went through a divorce or something. He moved in briefly and then left. My great-grandma was there briefly as well. So there's 4 generations in that house at one point. Those good times. The neighborhood was more fun when I was a kid than when I got older, and more kind of jerks moved into the neighborhood. And even still, when I left, you know, a few years ago, or last year I should say, a few years ago, you'll see as new people move in how, like, and I'm not saying some of the people that move in now are jerks or anything, but you see how it changes. Like, everybody's knocking down the cape houses and building mansions and stuff, which is helpful for my aunt because her house is really low.